So what's the best, perhaps most enduring way to break through the churn wall and really ensure long-term growth? Well, in my personal experience, it's up here. It's raising ACV. So how do you do that? Well, in concrete terms, that probably means improving your product over time so it offers more value to the customers that you're serving. And then it also means going up market and selling to larger customers who, quite simply, can afford to pay more for what you're offering. So the example I put on the board here, HiddenLevers, in the first couple of years, we got to 200 clients pretty quickly. We got to 100, and then we doubled again. I think we got to 100 in like 3 months, and then we doubled again by the end of the year. Our plan for the year after that was to get to 1,000 clients. We were thinking linearly. We were thinking that we're just going to keep zooming upward. Instead, what happened was we started to hit the churn wall, and it got harder. So we went from 0 to 200 in those first couple of years. In the next 7, 8 years, we went from that 200 to just 450. So we didn't really blow the doors off in terms of client count growth. In fact, from a revenue perspective, or if you simply look at it in terms of like, what's that growth? It's 2.25x. That's all we managed over all of those years in terms of client count. So how did we get from a run rate, which was roughly 200K, when we had those 200 clients, that initial level, how did we get from there to 8.5 million? Well, the answer so 18x in ACV growth. We went from $1,000 a customer per year to around 18,000. And that's where the growth came from. And so for us, this was the bigger factor. Now, there are going to be some scale plays that grow horizontally, and you do end up growing customer counts and growing customer counts. But inevitably, you're always going to hit that churn wall, as we talked about, the sort of brutal math where churn rises as a percentage of total clients, and sales is a more linear process in terms of how much marketing spend and how much distribution you have. And so those two are eventually going to meet. And the only way to move that needle and really move ACV is, again, you're reinventing your product, you're adding capabilities, you are adding more value for your customers. And so that was the key that drove success in this case. And I've seen it many other times as well. So something to keep in mind, whenever you start to see, if you feel like you're stuck at a churn wall, maybe it's sales and marketing, maybe it's reducing churn, but the biggest part of the picture might be raising ACV.